Hey Libra, and welcome to your, just feeling that, clearing it out. Welcome to your semi-bi-weekly, pretty much, reading for the full moon lunar eclipse to the new moon. So we're looking at this particular period of time, right? We're looking at what themes are actually coming up for you during this period of time. And we're also taking a look at what spiritual advice is coming up. So these are shorter readings. They're not as long as the monthlies. We're just getting some insight that feels, I just keep feeling this card. We're just getting some, sorry you guys, my video cut out for a second. So we're just getting some insight into this 2-week period of time. So I'm not really going to go into the astrology. I'm keeping these really short and sweet. And the reason why is because I just did a few days ago the monthly readings, and I spent some time talking about the astrology, and in particular about this full moon lunar eclipse in Scorpio, in tropical, and in Libra and sidereal. So I do talk about that. I highly recommend going and checking out that video after you watch this to just get a heads up about what to expect with this particular full moon lunar eclipse. I recommend it just because this one seems to be shaping up to be pretty potent, and I think it's important to just give you guys a heads up. So I'll have that towards the end of this video. In the meantime, let's get into what this is about for you. So during this particular period of time from the full moon lunar eclipse leading into, or all the way to the new moon that we have coming up, we have Venus showing up as your theme. Now, you know, Venus definitely, I think most people think like just what it says here, like the beloved. They think about their lover and about relationships. And there's just so much more that's associated with Venus. Venus really speaks to what we value in life, our value system. Yes, it can talk about like, yes, the partners that we seek or relationships and that, and has those themes come in. So yeah, maybe that is a part of this. I just want to make sure to mention a couple of other things. So it can have to do with our values, and also our finances are another part of that. Like, you know, think Venus, luxury, right? Like that's another way that you can think about this. So what are you going to want for that luxury and those beautiful aesthetics, those beautiful creative, you know, experiences? It's like, you might be a little bit more like into the luxury, might be thinking about finances, your coins, right? So these are all themes that can be coming up with regard to Venus, what we value, our finances, our aesthetic surroundings, right? Like our pleasure, our senses, and yes, perhaps even romance can be a part of that. So these are the themes that are coming up during this period of time. And during this lunar full moon eclipse, this particular one with the south node, right, it has to do with releasing and letting go. Not only that, but whenever, without even the eclipse, we always are looking at the waning energy when we're looking at the full moon to the new moon. It's like tying up projects, letting things go, releasing things anyways, but this is just so much more magnified. So just think about that also, as like, what are things that are related to your values that you're just like, this is or isn't aligned with what I truly value in my life right now, like with where I'm growing and going, like, you know, with what I want to be experiencing as far as like what makes my life beautiful, right? Things like that. And then we have, for the spiritual advice, we have the Two of Wands. And I feel like your spiritual advice is really speaking to like, when we normally see the traditional imagery for the Two of Wands, we have someone who's like staring out at this grand expanse before them, like all of this land, just open land before them. And it's like the possibilities are endless, I think. And usually they're holding a globe, right? Like a globe of the earth. And this is, you know, signifying that it's like the world is at your fingertips. You know, the possibilities are endless for what you can create, for what you want to create. And really what there is to make a decision about which path and what you're going to commit to in terms of what you value in life, right? And so given that we're also during this period of time still, like currently we still have Mercury retrograde until the 14th, and then it'll go direct, right? So during this period of time, we're still in this kind of like slow down, revise, revision, and it is a Mercury retrograde in Taurus, which is ruled by Venus, right? So we have already like these themes around Venus coming up, but with Taurus and Mercury in retrograde, it's like we're meant to slow down, revise, revision, and review things around what we value, around our physical environment, around like whether what we have, what we're surrounded by is pleasurable to our senses, you know, and also, you know, can often be associated with like how we go about resourcing those things. So I think really what's here for you is really looking at and feeling into what is aligned with your values and what isn't, and letting go and releasing those things proactively that aren't, you know, and noticing the things that, even if you're not proactively letting them go, the things that are being ushered out of your life, and recognize where those might not best necessarily be aligned with your values anymore, perhaps, right? Whether it's a project or whatever it is. So, so there's that to consider. And also just knowing that once you do that, and once you're in this place, like of really addressing your alignment and looking at things from this perspective, you have the whole world in front of you. You have all of these possibilities to consider, and you can really decide to commit to going on a path that is going to feel more aligned not only with your values, but be inspiring, feel maybe more creative, that you might have more like fire and juice for, right? We're talking about the wands. The wands are that fire energy and like that desire to like really go forth, like, and create and be creative and be in our, you know, be courageous about life, right? To go forth and have that energy to do that. So I feel like this is a lovely reading. In fact, it's one of the softer ones that I can say so far in terms of like how you might approach the energy during this period of time. So I hope that this feels helpful. Definitely check out, like I said, go listen to, even if you're not watching for the tarot reading for the month and you're just looking at the astrology, I think it's helpful to understand why I say these things about this particular lunar eclipse, and it's timestamped, so you can go check that out. So I hope that this was helpful. If this feels like it resonated, if it was helpful in some way or insightful, please consider giving this a like and a thumbs up, and subscribing or hitting the notification bell. It's definitely helpful. So I appreciate your time. Thanks for being here. Bye.